Well,
So
you know what always happens when we start the show? We advocate, about 5-10 minutes for the word of the day. Did we do that yet?
No,
not only
because he wasn't around.
so I've taken that cue, and we're not even doing the word of the day anymore unless we get it requested. But here's the request. So
Oh, yeah.
we have it requested. The Gory Midori, aka Dr. Angela Beard, word of the day. Let me put it out there.
We need a sounder.
Do we need a sounder?
We didn't do the sounder once today.
It was an odd day. We had very little Mike
Yeah.
B, but I thought we got along.
Hey, let's wait till tomorrow. Best time for news.
Oh yes, that
Oh,
joyous
wait,
song.
today's Thursday. Holy moly. I
Yeah,
forgot what day it
your
was.
podcast day. How'd you forget? And I thought it was
Wow.
Friday today too.
Just gotta Google it real quick. There we go. Sending it to one Lord Beltran. So yes, our Doctor of Psychology. She helps us expand our vocabulary. I love her choice of words, by the way. Always. I actually do have her do it because... Whoa, this is a weird one. All right, what you got for us, Mike?
Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, real quick, just to recap, I do have to be off at 1:55 for a 2 o'clock meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So, FYI on that. Let's see here. We have a noun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the word is... Okay. The word is victual.
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 Victuals.
According to this, it's pronounced
Victual.
Vittle. The C is silent.
Poodle.
Victual.
C
Victual.
is silent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember being in elementary, just like hearing classmates. Why is it even in there if the letter is silent?
You know, I just
Yeah.
blame the French whenever that happens.
Mhm.
You know what? I just blame the French for everything. It's all their fault.
Oh my god.
Victual.
Well, what's it mean?
Victuals.
This is food usable by people.
What?
Vittles
Or-
are food used by
Used by
usable by
people?
people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or plural, supplies of food or provisions.
Provisions.
Smorgasbord?
Sure.
Victuals.
So,
That's an interesting one. Okay.
yeah, sounds like everything
Is there
except for what?
a sentence? Is there an
Everything except for
example?
Taco Bell, right?
Yes.
Victuals.
Ugh.
It could also be a verb.
What?
Yeah. It can be a transitive verb to supply with food.
Or an
Right?
intransitive verb to lay in provisions. That
To lay
sounds
in
insane.
provisions.
Does that mean you're like lying in junk food? Because this might be a word for
I feel called out.
Victual.
Snow angels in the junk food.
to lay
I
in
feel
provisions.
so called out.
I mean, is a spade a spade? Do you want to like how do you feel about just lounging around in Taco Bell, just Mexican
Gosh.
pizzas all around the bed,
That is not
That's
delicious.
really
no.
messy,
just doing snow angels.
but delicious. Snow angels.
Like, if anybody was doing that, I would envision you, Tiger Lily.
Oh my god. Oh.
Have you
What
ever
is-
seen a grown adult do snow angels on the carpet because they had a nervous breakdown?
I'm sure you have.
Of course, because I
I've done-
saw it last week.
Oh
Or
god.
2 weeks ago.
Wow.
No angels. I've done those.
I guess we're just going to go with an impromptu dating segment with Damien.
No,
Oh.
it was not a date, sir. No.
Okay.
If she was doing that, I would definitely have told y'all a long time ago on the show. Well, no, a few months back too, I had a supervisor who, in the middle of a staff meeting, had like a nervous breakdown, and she just threw herself on the floor and started doing carpet
Oh my
/ dirt
goodness.
angels. Saying no one listens to me anymore, and I'm like, yo, who are you? I can't take you
Hey,
seriously right
child.
now. And she was older than me doing that, so
Wow.
Yeah, that's
I hope that
the
carpet
most
was
mature
clean.
thing.
No, not at all.
That lady had
Very
about enough.
wrestling. It was very wrestling to do that. So,
Someone do that in the middle of free play when they keep losing.
I have somebody in mind who would do that, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm right here,
Oh.
dude.
That'd be
Not you,
Chris. That
dude.
would be Chris. Easily.
Yeah.
So alas, now that we have to kind of get Mike on and out of here in the next 20 minutes or so, I guess this is the perfect time to actually start the show of Nerd Side of the Ring. So myself, Chris, Oren, and Mike B. We don't know if Carlos is going to show up, and usually he does the
He's
hot
probably
tag.
still asleep.
Yeah, I know that. I know that feeling. for
He's
sure.
celebrating. He's off probation.
Oh yeah.
No more encounters
saw
with the big
that.
boss man for Carlitos. That's Boat Guy right there. I look past Boat Guy.
It'd be Cobb County, Georgia. Could have been worse. But last night's Wrestling Wednesday was pretty darn good. To be honest, like you were saying, Chris, just the random tournament styles that we've been having, people getting more competitive with even smaller games, which is great. If I can make one suggestion, on Wednesdays, if we could have an unofficial SNK, the KOF championship or something on Wednesdays,
Done.
Yes.
Done, sir.
Or
I
Marvel.
will gladly participate in the SNK fighting game championships.
Done.
That is fine.
It is done. Just make
Cool.
sure you remind me when you see me on Wednesday, and I
Will
will
do.
make it happen.
But alas, the actual wrestling itself, we were kind of double ponging back from AEW to NXT, and then Mike B showed up and rescued us from having to change the channel as we were able to stream both. So one of the first things from yesterday's show that cracked me up, Chris, and you're kind of in agreement with this, was the fact that we saw Billy Mitchell randomly appear on AEW last night in a promo between Miro and Kip, otherwise known as me and Mike B, apparently. That's what I was saying yesterday. That was interesting, where video games and wrestling kind of combined, but AEW would actually be the place for that, if I remember correctly, because of CES or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah. CEO.
CEO,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, CEO.
Yeah.
Floridian.
So
Yeah,
when you saw Billy Mitchell, what'd you think, Chris?
Oh, Chris was pissed to high holy hell. Chris hates him. Chris hates him with a passion. Don't let him fool you.
Not true. Not true. Have met the man. I find him to be okay. So I think we were talking about scary movies earlier. I think he's one of the
Yep.
top 5 movie villains of all time.
Of course.
I think he's amazing, and I think I cannot think of a better place for Billy Mitchell than a wrestling program. He is one
Yeah.
of the greatest heels ever. Naturally, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hell, I wish they would make him a manager. I don't want to see him wrestle, but I want to see
I wanna
him
see
with
him-
that
I wanna see him
USA
wrestle.
tie in front. He lives in Hollywood, Florida. He's not far away. He can do this. I want him to be a manager for people. I want him to be telling. He was with Miro. I want him to be telling everybody that Miro is the greatest and he's a world record holder. Oh my goodness, this is a great development. This is Billy Mitchell in his native homeland.
Yeah. Now, Billy Mitchell does play like you could say a natural heel, but you know, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know where this storyline is going to go with him, but you know, he's with Miro, who's a face. So,
Right.
you know, I don't know. I mean, he actually would be a great heel, and just have him talk about himself and all that other good stuff. And
The problem with Billy, in reality, is he doesn't understand that he only has a cursory understanding that he is a heel in real life. Like, he leans into it naturally and then takes it personally when people kind of get upset and don't respond in the way that he wants to. So when he gets his pop, he's not reveling in it quite like J-Pong is. Or Mike B, right? But he's so good at it. If I could grant that man anything, it's just the little bit, the nugget of self-awareness to say that you're bringing a ton of joy to people's lives, being just the way you are, a total asshat, and we love it.
He's putting
Good
on a
word,
nice
Chris.
face. He hates him. Trust me, he hates him. I'm telling you, he hates him.
Well, the
Chris
minute
hates
we saw him, Mike, we both just screamed out and said,
Yeah,
"What
oh,
the
yeah.
hell?" And then we immediately
Yeah.
looked for Chris to see what his reaction was. So.
Oh yeah. Chris stopped playing ST, which that never happens unless it's like an emergency.
Well, you
And
called me over there. You said it was an emergency. Although
It
I was
was.
laughing. I was laughing.
It was, and he was laughing so he can hide the anger that was just fuming inside of him. Seeing Billy
Seething.
Mitchell, yeah.
right.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
I'm threatened by
That's
his
it.
greatness, Mike B.
How
How can I measure up at Super Turbo when Billy Mitchell is that good at Donkey Kong?
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, Damien, you may not be aware, but our own Jason Palmer cosplayed as Billy Mitchell.
Yep.
Oh.
Do we have
Hear
a
that?
picture?
I do. Yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah, and it was spot on.
Yeah.
It was spot on. I was like, wow, this is great.
Didn't Featherstone
That may have
do
been the
it
first
too?
Halloween party. I'm not too sure.
He's done it
Not-
more than once, but yes, the
Yeah.
first Halloween party he did it,
Yeah.
and it was perfect. So
We also learned last night, Chris, that if you're going to cosplay, you're going to cosplay as one Orange Cassidy.
Freshly squeezed Crystal.
Oh man. I mean, it would take no effort at all for Chris to pull it off because
Wear
That's
a
what
bunch
he
of
is.
denim.
And that's the
Sunglasses.
gimmick. No effort.
Sunglasses.
there's no effort. You just need
Nope.
sunglasses, a denim
Denim.
jacket,
Mhm.
and a t-shirt. That's it.
With your face on it.
Well-
I don't understand.
That's it. That's it. It's that simple.
All
Simple
right.
cosplays.
Squeezed.
Well-
And just give a thumbs up to whoever, but it's got to be
I
a
thought that was Billy
halfway
Mitchell.
thumbs up.
The
Well,
thumbs
no,
up.
I was gonna say,
A different brand of thumbs up.
yeah, because Orange Cassidy, it's a thumbs up, but it's kind of a thumb still on the finger.
Mhm.
Whereas Billy Mitchell, it's the thumb straight up, right? Just the Orange Cassidy, his thumb is still resting on the finger, but it's up. So just half effort. That's all. That's all you gotta do.
Well,
Well-
but I don't know. People have been throwing around a lot of Halloween costumes. I'll tell you this. I'm wearing the pants.
Go
In the
see.
Yeah.
chat, Sarah goes, we can literally go to the thrift store to make this happen. Yes.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
And-
need
and-
to, because I'm gonna
Open
Amazon some
pockets.
aviator sunglasses, and
There you go.
Yep.
you're probably not going to be able to go to the thrift store with me and have me come out with something that fits. So I'll order it. You got it. Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
I'll do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But other than that, I feel as if that might have been my only high spots for AEW last night because it actually just felt like a generic show. I know they set some things into motion with the tag team tournament happening soon. Dr. Britt Baker returned. In case you didn't know, she's a dentist because they remind you every
That
5
was
seconds.
weird. I've never seen her before, but I did like her outfit a lot.
Like her outfit,
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
which says a lot about her wrestling ability. But that's
Yeah.
beside the point. She was being groomed. So for those who don't know who Britt Baker was, she was being groomed to be the super heel of the women's division because she's annoying and rubbing in the fact that she's a doctor because they remind you every other week. But she hurt her knee, so
Is
she
she
had to
really
take
a
some
doctor?
time. She is actually a dentist, yes,
He's a real life dentist.
real life dentist. And because of that, it's like the old Kurt Angle. I'm an Olympic gold medalist, so I'm gonna rub it in your
Oh
face.
my god.
Hers is, I'm a doctor and you're not. And she calls herself a role model and she puts her fingers in people's mouths, called the lockjaw as a submission move. So it's weird. She's just annoying, which is a good thing if you're a heel.
Does she
Yeah.
have Isaac Yankem as a manager?
No, she has, what's her name? Reba, otherwise known as Rebel, but her name in AEW is Reba, which is a very klutzy assistant. Isaac Yankem would be a welcome addition if they did decide one day to say, hey, Mayor Jacobs, you want to do this for $1 million? And he'll just be Isaac Yankem.
That
I mean,
would
for
be
$1 million,
something.
I'll dress up like Isaac Yankem. That's okay.
Yeah. That would be something right there. But yeah, no, I was enjoying more of the NXT show. They definitely had a good tag main event. I was
Yes.
enjoying that with Johnny Gargano and his wife, alongside against Damian Priest, the North American champion and the NXT Women's Champion, Io Shirai. It was a
Mhm.
damn good match, actually. I mean, it was a really good match. I was really locked in on that. And then before that, of course, they're building up into the Sunday's NXT Takeover this Sunday night. So that's what I'll be doing this Sunday night. But with Finn Balor defending against Kyle O'Reilly, man, I'm telling you, and like me and Damien, we've touched on this before, but NXT Takeover can just be that match only, and I will be happy. I don't need nothing else. That match, I'm telling you, I'm calling it now, is going to be the match of the year,
Give him
even
half
with
an
no
hour.
crowd.
Let him make
Yeah.
magic. Exactly.
Yeah. Give him half an hour, and it's going to happen. Like, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm calling it. It's going to be match of the year. Granted, there's going to be no crowd to help it, but I think it'll be. To me, that's going to be match of the year. All things considered, with everything that's happened so far, that'll be it. I mean,
Mhm.
the ladder match last weekend on Clash of Champions with Sami Zayn, that was crazy. That was really, really good. And then, there's a helicopter flying close by over here. And then also, of
What'd you
course,
do?
Uh-oh.
yeah.
What'd you do?
Hide.
No, I'm fine. But and then, of
All right.
course, a couple weeks
This
back,
is
you had
this is why he has 3 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. He needs that many toilets for an emergency just like this. Get the flushing, Mike.
what? But also, you had the what also could be another match of the year candidate was the parking lot brawl just a couple weeks back with Best Friends, and
That was great.
so far, like, we've had some bangers recently, so I'm
Yes.
pretty sure this Sunday night's takeover with Finn and Kyle they're gonna tear it down, man. They're gonna tear it down. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
All right, I'm ready with my Billy Mitchell, Jason Palmer cosplay whenever you want.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's click that one right here and this one right. Nope, that one right there. That should be it. There it is. Too good. He's even got his manila folder
folder
with the VHS tape.
Yes.
Oh
He's got a
my
tape for you.
God.
Oh, that's so good.
Palmer. That is so good.
That's so good, man. And of course, like, when they actually met in person, like, was it last year? Right? It was last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, when they met, that was amazing to see.
It really was. The man meeting his hero. Too good.
Yeah, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Oh, it was great.
It was like if Mike B was able to in the arcade meet his favorite person ever, Mike B. It was incredible.
Wow. So Damien, we did have Billy Mitchell at Free Play.
Oh wow.
Yes, he was there for a day,
I
right?
just
Or
posted
2.
a picture. Didn't you see it?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes, then he was there. Yes, he was. Before my time, I hope to see him again. This way we could all take pictures with him. There we go.
Yeah.
All
With
in
or
all,
without Miro?
Yeah.
oh, maybe with, since that's Mike B. So Mike will show up and dressed as Miro.
Miro.
Oh, you two need to work out that cosplay.
Oh my
Yes.
God, Miro.
Oh, M. So Mike Miro B. I think that works just fine.
Yes. You gotta bleach his hair.
No.
Can we just have someone just make Mike with blonde hair? Just blonde.
Oh god.
Jeez. Oh my God.
I mean, we have it's right there, right?
Jeez.
Yeah, it's true. We do have it
Yeah.
back there. True. We're looking at it now with the mullet and everything.
Oh
Mhm.
man,
As it's meant to be.
commanding mullet that is right there. Ooh, love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
You look like an American gladiator, Mike. Want to
Damn
call you
right.
Saber or something?
Yeah, right.
Malibu.
Yeah, Malibu. Yeah. Oh my God.
Aside
Oh.
from that, we're getting ready for Takeover, and usually for those who don't know NXT, that's the promotion. Even though it's an offshoot of WWE, that potentially always brings the house down. When there's a crowd, it's got more of an independent wrestling feel, mixed with sports entertainment, as opposed to AEW, which is strictly seems like an independent promotion. But to Mike's point, you give Balor and Kyle O'Reilly half an hour, you give Io and Candice about 20 minutes. That's half the show. And you'll probably have 2 matches of the night. So I'm looking forward to that. I will not be seeing it live because obviously I'll be seeing the Goonies for the first time in my life. But
I still can't believe that. But go on.
I've never seen Goonies.
Uh,
Yeah, Mike's gonna do the truffle shuffle just to
Not
yeah.
gonna
Just
do
to
the trouble
help.
stuff.
Yes, he is.
help with the experience.
Did you not hear
I
that,
will be
Mike? Earlier
watching
they volunteered
NXT.
you.
3D.
Wow.
We're gonna holograph Mike B into doing the truffle shuffle. That's fine.
Jeez.
But before Mike has to go in about 15 minutes, I wanted to touch on something Mike brought up to me last night, which was Clash of Champions. The ending, if you saw that, between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, and if you've seen Rocky IV, throw the damn towel, needed to be done. That was definitely in the main event of Clash of Champions, where those who don't know, Roman and Jey are cousins, as Carlos has pointed out numerous times. And I was expecting a finger poke of doom where they were going to troll the audience and win on like a finger poke as their family. But no, they beat the crap out of each other. And then Roman essentially talking trash the entire match, calling himself the tribal chief, Chris. His new thing is the tribal chief. And at the end of it, Jay's injured brother, Jimmy, even though they're other names, but they're going by their WWE names, limped down to the ring with his knee brace to throw the towel in. As he clutches his brother at the end of a beatdown that the referee stopped, with Roman standing over him like with Paul Heyman in a if he dies, he dies kind of stance.
Oh my gosh.
And then they placed the lei Jey Uso brought to the ring over Roman to commemorate him as the unofficial / official tribal chief of the family. It was very powerful, very powerful.
Yeah, that match was very, very good because you had something that no one has really done yet. Where there's been no crowd, right? As we all well know, you're watching wrestling and you don't hear the crowd. You hear the slams and stuff like that. But one thing you haven't heard yet is trash talking in the ring. And they just basically said, hey, you know what, Roman? Talk trash while you're wrestling. And it delivered. It was so good because you could just hear Roman throughout the match just saying, I'm at the head of the table. You ain't, well, he didn't say it, but, he was just talking
You should have
trash.
took the payday. He was
Yeah,
telling
you
him,
should have
took
took the
the
payday.
payday.
Yeah, he should have took the payday, this and that. And I mean, he was just laying into him the whole match. It was so good. It was so good. It was something that you just you haven't seen yet, right? You haven't seen this part of wrestling since the no crowd era, and it delivered, man. And like, it was great.
I've seen
It
the
was
Shut Up
really
Mike
great.
clip. I've seen that trash talk.
What was that? He cut out.
Sorry, I've seen the Shut Up Mike clip. I've seen
Oh,
that
yeah,
trash
yeah.
talk.
Well, yeah.
I forgot about
There's that. Yeah. Well, that happened the same night. But yeah, I mean, you heard it during the match. It was great. It was great. So, I mean, like Clash, it delivered last week. Again with the ladder match, Sami Zayn winning both Intercontinental title belts, so he's the unofficial, official, true champion, if you will. It was definitely a good, solid show. Then, of course, you had Raw this week setting up, again, you got Hurt Business still developing their storyline, which I'm enjoying. They're becoming a thing now. But one thing I want to ask Damien, though, and Chris, we talked about this with you recently, but Retribution, okay? The whole controversy, if you will, with them debuting and it's not going over well. People are making fun of it. All of a sudden, they are not on Clash of Champions. They're not on Raw this week because they are having to quarantine.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Now, it's been said that none of them have it,
Right.
but they were around someone who did have it. And, so you've got all this, storyline that's already, on bumpy waters right now. And then this happens. You have to be away from TV. Man, where are we going to go from here with this storyline? It seems like it's doomed. It's cursed. The storyline's cursed,
And the sad part is that ever since their debut flopped, they've taken to social media and have actually built interest in them because they're just trolling everybody on social media. They've gone after Russo, they've gone after Bischoff, random WWE fans, random WWE and even AEW personnel, independent wrestlers. They're just talking all the trash, especially T-Bar, otherwise known as Dominic Dijakovic. And it's been great to listen to and to watch unfold. But now knowing that they have to quarantine, and this happened in AEW as well, where Serena Deeb, she was just signed maybe 2 weeks ago and had to be put in quarantine because she was around someone who had contracted COVID-19.
That actually
And
shut
now
down
with
Free Play Denton for a week as well.
remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. And now that DeSantis is saying, hey, we're going to go back to full power here in Florida with no restrictions and no mask mandates. Good luck, guys. Keep it clean. Good luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how far it goes.
Ask the NFL how well that's working.
Yeah, or the Titans more specifically. You know.
Palmer
But
should
yeah.
fix that. He's in Tennessee now. Palmer, go get on it.
No.
Yeah. Well, he'll be
It's
back
like
for
Palmer at all
tomorrow.
cost.
If he's not
Yeah.
quarantined, yes.
He'll be back tomorrow.
Mhm.
So we'll see him tomorrow night. We'll see what he's done to help save the Tennessee Titans.
Will we hear him?
Yeah. Oh man. Guys, let's see. What else do we have? Oh yeah. Well, I'm still interested in the Intercontinental title, obviously. So now that Sammy is the champion, right?
Mhm.
You know, I'm interested to see on where they're going to take it from here now, because he did beat AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy. So I'm wondering if they're going to, develop a new storyline or a new feud with him against, somebody else. I'm pretty sure they will, since like AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy have kind of been going back and forth at it for since WrestleMania, basically.
Right. And I think with Jeff Hardy, he has some court dates coming up. So WWE might not want to have him on TV as much. From I believe it's a past DUI a few months back. So he has some court dates coming up. So they may choose to keep him off television for a little bit, just to let that kind of bowl over, which they've been known to do if people are battling legal troubles. Make them disappear for a couple of weeks. It's Vince McMahon, right?
Exactly. I think that and obviously, as many of you know, Sami Zayn is one of my guys. Like, he's one of my favorites out there. He's been one of my favorites for a few years now, even before he came to NXT as El Generico. I have the El Generico mask too. Matter of fact, even at Twilight Lounge one night, Damien, I was DJing their Halloween party, and I had the El Generico mask and shirt while I was DJing. So that was fun.
Did anyone know who you were?
They just thought I was Mexican wrestler guy. That was basically it. No one really knew who I was, which was fine. No big deal. But I was gonna say to that, I think that he's finally getting, maybe his just due with him being Intercontinental Champion now. He had a great run in NXT, especially when he won the NXT title, which that was a huge build up there. And of course, like, after that, he had the small feud with Kevin Owens. They both get called up. They had a small feud, and they tagged together, right? And they had a little fun thing going. But then after that, there's just kind of been nothing for him. And then now he's Intercontinental Champion. So I'm definitely pleased to see that he's getting his just due. But I think probably one of his best moments since being on the main roster, other than winning the Intercontinental title, it has been the when he was on A Moment of Bliss last year, when he returned from injury.
Yes.
And where they just, and I put it in the nerd side chat, where he just, they kept playing his music, and the crowd in Montreal was just going crazy for him, singing along, and they stopped and it started again. They kind of went off script, you could tell. It's just kind of, hey, let's just keep that going, and that was really cool when that happened.
That is an exact definition of someone who's over, and you just have to ride the wave. And that clip that you showed us was amazing. They would not stop cheering for him for minutes even seconds, minutes, which was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, his music's fun too. So it's like, yeah, I'll hear that music again. It's fun. It's fun to hear. Puts you in a good mood. Definitely gets you like in a, can chant along with it as most of the fans do anyway. So
In the final 10 minutes, Mike, I know we talked last night about talking about our favorite wrestling video games to kind of correlate everything back to video games and gaming in general. I'm going to hit you with something maybe you didn't know I was going to ask you, which is get your best one. Which is a wrestling video game you can't stand?
can't stand. I got one. The one I can't stand was it was the WWE for not WrestleMania 2000, not when THQ took it over, but I think it may be the last one that Acclaim did. I can't remember. Was it Warzone? I think,
Yes, that's
or
exactly
Raw? Yeah, Warzone. Yeah,
Warzone.
yeah, it was Warzone. Yeah, I have that one, and I remember buying it. And I was all excited, and I was going to Willow's house. We were gonna play it. Yeah, man, got a new wrestling game. Cool, cool. Come over. And I take it over there, and we're playing it. And it's just like, man, this isn't good. Like it was, yeah, like it was real hard to control, and it just, oh man, it was disappointing. It was cool to look at the time. They had great
Mhm.
graphics, and obviously it was Nintendo 64 in that era, and they were using the music and things like that. But man, just that game wasn't good. That one I did not like. I was pretty disappointed, and then we hardly ever played it again. We kept playing the WCW versus NWO, which came out around about that time. It was so much better, so much
For
better.
that,
But
yeah,
yeah,
for those times, WCW was worth the watch and the play because I remember buying WCW Nitro, having that expansive roster, especially when I was renting it for a little while at Blockbuster. I decided to buy it because when you do at the character select screen, you get these little sound clips. So it's you go on to Kevin Nash, he's talking trash. You go to Hogan, he cuts one of his little Hogan promos. Then when you start unlocking new characters, which is great, you realize they're nothing but pretty much palette skins on the same model because everybody started having the same moves
yeah,
after about two different, sort of like pro wrestling, you have two unique moves for your character. That was how WCW Nitro was. You had like about three signature moves, and the rest was the same animation style, just a different skin. So, for instance, Miss Elizabeth was in the game, and she had Macho Man's moveset mixed with generic, at the time, female wrestler movesets. She winds up hitting the flying elbow drop and doing the oh yeah, dig it, Macho Man stylization. So it's weird seeing Miss Elizabeth in a cocktail dress doing that. So it kind of threw me for a loop.
yeah. Now I'll give you another one, honorable mention for most hated game, even though I enjoyed it. But you kind of touched on it right now, which was basically the first wrestling game for SNES, which was Super WrestleMania. And
Yes.
and I mean, I was all hyped for this one. I was like, all right, like 16-bit graphics, on a wrestling game, I'm ready. Like I've played years and years of 8-bit wrestling games, so let's get 16-bit on it, and you know, and then you start playing it, and it's basically all the characters had the same moves.
Oh.
Nobody had their unique move set at all. Nobody had like a finisher or anything. It was all basic moves for everybody. I
Eesh.
was like, "Oh my god, it was rough. It was rough." But then they, again, Acclaim, right? Or LJN. LJN, they quickly remedied that with when they came out with WWF Royal Rumble, to which, okay, now we'll fix and we'll add unique move sets and things like that, and and it did get a little better, but it still wasn't. I mean, it was okay. That little era or run of games it was okay. It was okay.
That's never good when you just have to say, okay, the game was okay.
Yeah,
That's really not a good indicative reason of just releasing games. But then again, back then, just because you had a license doesn't mean the game was going to be well made. So
yeah, and I did get I did hate on Sega Genesis for a little while because so I had WWF Royal Rumble for
Yeah,
SNES,
Raw.
and well, my buddy, he had Sega Genesis, and he got Royal Rumble, and his had Ultimate Warrior in it. I was like, man, I want Ultimate Warrior in mine, and now I gotta go to his and play his, for Ultimate Warrior. I was like, oh man.
Console
So,
exclusives were a thing even before we started realizing what they were.
yeah, exactly. And then like you kind of look back on it, it's like, oh yeah, he was back for just a little bit, so that allowed him to be in the game. I was like,
Mm.
oh man. And then there was another one that uh there's another game that Ultimate Warrior is in before, like let's see. While in WWF, there was another one, and that was WWF In Your House that
Mm.
I remember playing on PlayStation 1. And Ultimate Warrior was in it, which was basically a sequel to um, WrestleMania, the arcade game. Even though it wasn't officially titled as, the sequel, it was still made by Acclaim, but it was no longer under Midway. But they took what Midway made, since they had a hand in it, and basically developed a, you know, almost the spiritual successor, if you will,
Successor.
to
Hmm.
to an arcade game, and Ultimate Warrior was in that one as well. So I remember playing it like once or twice. I rented it, and it was okay. Like it was just you know. I think it got overshadowed though by by um WCW versus NWO when that came out. So
They ever released a WCW arcade wrestling game?
no, no, they didn't. Really, the only ones that ever made it to the arcade was WWF games, Superstars, WrestleFest, and WrestleMania.
Royal Rumble as well,
Oh yeah, Royal Rumble 2, yeah.
which is my
Royal Rumble
favorite.
2.
That's my favorite
Yeah.
all-time wrestling game that I've played.
Yeah.
You know
I don't
me,
know if you
arcadey.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've seen that one yet, Damien. But yeah, that was Sega put that one out for the arcade actually.
I doubt we'll ever see it on the free play floor.
Yeah.
I've
But-
seen it in the lab, but they'd rather tear it apart and make something custom out of it than put extra Royal Rumble out there.
But don't worry, you can see it at my house because I have it.
Thanks, Mike. We can watch it at your house.
Yeah.
We'll just put it in the
I did
background.
I did take it to free play one time, and then one random night, the Naomi system was in the Versus City, and Carlos, we put it in there, and Carlos was playing it, and he was loving it.
I played it enough to get good at it at GameWorks back in the day.
There you go.
Yeah. I was interested in it because I had heard. So this is my era. I had heard that the Undertaker would do a move called the Tombstone Piledriver, which I'd seen from Tekken, but I'd never seen Undertaker do it because he was doing the Last Ride at the time. So I was happy to see that era Undertaker in an arcade game, so I could do the Tombstone Piledriver.
Wasn't the
think-
American Badass version, was he?
Yep. No, not in the arcade game. And he was normal Undertaker in the arcade game, but at the time I was watching wrestling and it was American Badass. So all Last Ride power bombs and nary a pile driver to be had. Meanwhile, I could do it with a bunny rabbit in Tekken. So
I
Didn't
think
even know
that
there was a bunny rabbit in Tekken.
Hell yeah.
I guess they tell me it's a kangaroo. Yeah.
Oh, Roger.
I'll tell you what though, when Superstars first came out though, WWF back in the day, the arcade, oh man, that was. I mean they did those wrestling games right for the as far as arcade goes.
Yeah, they had the
because-
fan service right. You could play as Jake the Snake Roberts. You could play as the people you wanted to.
Yeah.
with the exception of Kerry Von Erich. But you can play him in Street Fighter.
Jeez. But yeah, no. You could. I mean, it was a good balance of like the beat 'em up style and one-on-one type thing that they worked into those two games right there, Superstars and WrestleFest. They did those right. Those are still fun to play to this day. So, I definitely enjoy playing those. And of course, me and Chris are still tag team champions in WrestleFest. So
Forever, man.
that's right. It seems like forever now. You know.
Undefeated
So
all time. They're
that's
never
right.
getting those belts away from us.
Never. And you know what, Damien? Like I know we've touched on it before, but real quick before I go, but yeah, that when there was the WrestleFest tournament over at Quarter Lounge,
Mhm.
like I told Chris that, dude, I'm telling you now, we can win this thing. I already know how good you are at stuff. I'm very good at this game. Let's just practice a little bit, and we got it. And I convinced Chris to go away from free play for one night and to go over to Quarter Lounge. And man, it was over. Oh my god, you talk about total domination, man.
Yeah, it was
Like,
brutal.
yeah, it was bad. So I was also worried he was Ted DiBiase, and
It was like that season of Dragon Ball where we never had to show our final form.
yeah, pretty much.
God.
Because I would start the match really, and you know I'd go through my moveset, and you know he's out. Then like there were a couple of times where I could have pinned our opponent and it would have been over, but I was like, nah, let's have some fun here. So I tagged Chris in. Chris goes in, does a couple moves, and he slaps the $1 Million Dream on, and it's over right away. And just, this is so great. This is so great.
You don't get up from the $1 Million Dream. No.
It was over. I was like,
No.
this is so good, man.
You're not gonna have your buddy come in and tag in and try and kick me. No, it's just over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because if that happened,
We get the
I'm coming in.
submissions.
I'm coming in with a flying shoulder tackle from Warrior just to knock him out of the way, and it's over, man. Oh, it wasn't even fair. It wasn't even fair. Oh man, it was so good. I loved it. Loved it. All right. Well, on that note, I've got to go get ready for this 2 o'clock meeting. So I will see
Have
you
fun.
good people.
See how many times
Yeah.
you can bring up
Fun, Mike.
WrestleFest during your meeting.
Oh man, that might not happen at all. But we'll see you good people tomorrow.
See ya. You coming out to free play?
I believe so. I think you know there's this DJ thing.
DJing
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Supposedly
Free
the
play
DJ
Arlington.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just this
Yeah.
DJ thing. So you know, there's that happening. So, oh, and by the way, I might have one of my good buddies out there tomorrow night, a little early, like maybe from 7 to 9. It could be his first time going with his daughter, who likes pinball, and of course he's been my workout partner for the past month. So one of my
So
good
blame
friends.
him.
Yeah, I mean we used to be workout partners back in the mid 2000s a lot. So you know, it's definitely good. Me and him working out together again, this and that, and you know, hopefully he comes out tomorrow, but we'll see. But-
So wait, before you go, Mike, which one of the 2 tag teams I'm going to mention were you and your friend mostly like because you worked out together? Were you Fire and Ice or were you High Voltage?
We Power and Glory.
Oh, even better. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, Power and Glory.
Power and Glory. So were you Roma or Hercules?
I was. He's Roman. He's a little more prettier than me. So
Okay.
I was Hercules.
That's funny.
All right.
Get out of here, Mike.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, buddy. Steer this thing home,
before-
Damien.
Well, I will take this home by telling y'all WWF Superstars is one of our favorite games, one of my favorite games for the Game Boy back in 1991. All you had to do was cheese the clothesline, and you basically had yourself a win. That's my own. And I had a New Japan wrestling game import for Game Boy.
Really?
That's when I found out. Yes, that's when I found out that there were other promotions back in 1991 outside of WWF as well as WCW. So check those out. There's a whole line of New Japan Pro Wrestling games for the Game Boy, which is actually pretty good considering the limitations back in the 90s.
Did not know that. I mean, I knew New Japan Pro Wrestling was around forever, but not that there were licensed games. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Can I get a card battle game?
That would be fun. That would be fun. This one is called New Japan Pro Wrestling Okan Sanjushi 1991 for the Game Boy. That's the one I played when I was a kid, and I didn't even know it was an import. Thought I could get it in America. It's not. You couldn't.
So you play some fighting games. You play wrestling games.
Dude,
Like my
again,
favorite wrestling
this
game, as
whole-
I've mentioned, is Tekken. So have you played it? Have you played King and Tekken?
I have never played Tekken.
Or
I don't
Armor King.
think.
Armor King is
And
more quasi, like he has hybrid moves that are wrestling inspired, but also like
Yeah.
more Tekken-y with juggles and uppercuts and whatnot. King is just straight wrestler. In fact, they had motion capture actors from New Japan Pro Wrestling do his
Ooh,
moveset.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he does everything. He has every finisher you would want. All of them. It's ridiculous. He has like 115 different command throws, and that's not even an exaggeration. That's how many he has.
That's a lot of command throws. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's got every finisher. Everything you would want to do in wrestling. He's got like 4 different variants of DDTs. Why? Why not? It's great.
Because wrestling.
Yeah.
Because wrestling.
Yeah, he
We'll
is
say
the
this.
ultimate wrestler.
I will say this. I was playing King of Fighters last night, and this reminded me because you mentioned King. I can't stand Clark Steele, the Akar Warriors of Clark and Ralph, because he has all these chain throws and like these follow-up elbow commands. And even against the computer, I find myself cussing out the computer because every time I think I've got him beat, he literally hits me with a chain throw super. And I'm just looking at the screen. I'm bother playing humans. I'm getting my butt kicked by the computer because they cheese. What can you do?
Yeah, you're not gonna have fun playing Boat Guy at SNK games. He is a Clark main, so
Yep.
and he's
lovely.
quite good with them.
I'm getting back to using Rolf. Actually, I used to be really good with Rolf on the PlayStation, so I'm getting used to using him on the joysticks again.
Gotcha.
More
Well,
my
if you're out
speed
there
than-
tonight, we'll have to play some games.
Yeah. But other than that, folks, thank you so much. I know we didn't get into a lot of wrestle-specific stuff. Really isn't much to report other than
Yeah.
there's a big outbreak in Florida. People have to stay home again. So the pay-per-views are going to get a little disjointed. The shows are going to be disjointed. You're going to see random people showing up where, to be quite honest, they have no business being in those programs. So that's pretty much the most major news that came out this past week. The Florida being cleared to open up fully. Good luck, everybody.
I
Good luck
expect
and be
even more.
well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wrestling Wednesday will happen again at Free Play Richardson. So we'll see you at 7 o'clock. We'll have NXT and or AEW wrestling, whichever one that can successfully film and get on the air.
Or both. Again.
Hopefully.
Go back
Hopefully.
and forth.
No, as long as they can survive COVID and they can put on their wrestling shows,
Yeah.
then we'll do it. Wrestling Wednesday, we'll have our title matches. I gotta be honest with you, Damien. Having that amount of fun with those players in the building, the zany fun that we have, it's totally taken away from the wrestling for me. Like I can barely commit the time. I don't think I watched a full
Me
match
too.
yesterday. I did like I sat down several times. It can't keep my attention. And then we're off to the next Madcap tournament.
I was really wanting Jerry to use that chair. on Jake.
Chair. Oh, when he picked up the chair to hit Jake.
Yeah, that was great.
Yes. Don't worry, Chris. One day we'll just have someone just hit somebody with a chair and they'll do a shooting star press off the bar.
Love
and
it.
It'll be fun.
Love it.
It'll work out.
I mean, no violence in the arcade, but love it. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll see you at Free Play. All the free plays are open today, starting in